On this episode, you get a truly behind-the-scenes look. Cameraman Don Lagarde joins me to talk all things Alaska. This episode of Gun Talk Hunt is brought to you by Franchi, Feels Right, and the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. I know, this is going to be a weird one, folks. Hang on. This is Gun Talk Hunt, and I'm your host, KJ, and today you guys are in for a treat because we got the guy behind the camera. It took a lot of sweet talking, but I finally got our good buddy Don Lagarde in. Cameraman, I would say extraordinaire because you literally film for everyone.
I just do my job.
He's a very humble guy. You do a lot of camera. You've been working with Gun Talk for years. And it's rare that we get the occasion where we get to kind of feature, the guys behind the cameras who really make everything happen. But you, and guy, I'm going to tell you this right now. You are in. This is a great treat because you get to hear all the stories from Alaska that I probably wouldn't tell on myself, but Don gets to tell them all. So give us a little bit of your background and just who is Don Lagarde?
I've been working in television.
You're not that old.
About
Come on,
20 years or so. More than that, actually. Worked at a TV station for a long time. Yeah. Katrina hit, decided to go out on my own, became a freelancer, and I've been freelancing since then. And I work all over the country, actually all over the globe.
The world.
Really, yeah. And I do all kinds of different things. I do corporate stuff. I do sports. I do...
So you'll shoot for the Pelicans. You'll shoot for the Saints.
And I do everywhere. Behind the scenes on movies. I've done a lot of reality TV stuff. And then, of course, I got hooked up with you guys. And I've been with you guys, I don't know, 6 years now?
Oh, it's got to be longer than that.
6 or 7 years.
6 or 7 years, yeah. Because you've been here the entirety of since I've been here. And it's been so much fun working with you because Don brings a good creative energy, a positive vibe around the set. But... He will make sure we're lined up where we need to be, we're all safe and everything. He's got a really good eye. But you've been on quite a few adventures with us, from different states and everything like that.
Oh, yeah. We've done some road trips.
Yeah.
I went up to Montana and South Dakota.
Yeah. Didn't you go up to Oregon?
Went to Oregon. Yeah.
We
did, was it Black Hills?
Yeah, Black Hills.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went down to Guadalajara, Mexico on a
that was with Ryan.
On a shoot with Ryan. Yeah,
and that was with Aguila.
It was. It was the rifle thing, and Ryan Hamilton.
Yeah.
won the prize for best in his class.
Win.
Yeah.
That's right. Man.
Oh yeah, we've been around with Florida,
yeah,
Alabama. Mississippi. I mean, we use a range right by my house from time to time. We used to.
That's true. Yeah.
Which was really convenient for me.
Heck yeah. It's only like a 10-minute drive for you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you've done everything. But I came to you and I was like, hey, and you were my first call, which is not surprising because you're always my first call when I need someone good. You're like, no. But it's funny, but I was like, hey, look, I'm going to Alaska, and it's kind of a do-it-yourself thing, and you're like, nah, yeah, I'm in.
I immediately regretted saying that. You kept asking me, are you prepared? And I was, are you thinking about Alaska? And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I think about it constantly. Was this the right decision to make?
And when he stepped off the boat is when it really sank in. Because I would ask you almost weekly, hey, what are you doing to prepare? What do you got? Here's the gear that I'd sent you a gear list. A massive gear list. And also, you guys, if you're out there and you're going on an adventure or something like that, man, I've got gear lists for just about everything. So if you ever are like, hey, what do you recommend? Always reach out to me, kj@guntalk.com. Always happy to help any way I can. But I would send you these gear lists, and I'd be like, hey, what do you need? Because more than likely, I've got doubles and triplicates of everything.
Yeah, we went through backpacks. We tried to figure out
Yeah.
a bag. I just happened to my brother is a backpacker, so he had a really nice backpack that worked
That
for
seemed
me.
very serviceable.
It worked for me.
And it was a Kelty?
I don't.
I think
I
something
wouldn't
like
even
that.
know.
I
But
think
the fact that it had a
Kelty,
waist,
it was very
the
nice.
fact that it had a waist belt, the hip belt, was a major factor in
If it was
moving around.
If it was any bigger, I might have asked you to haul meat out.
I know. That's why I went with the size that I got.
You went a little bit smaller. See, that's smart, right
And it was
there.
full of camera gear. I couldn't
Yeah.
put meat in it when it's full of camera gear.
There's no way.
You know, and I was lucky in that we went small with the gear because Mark, who was the other camera guy who was shooting with the other guy's content, he
brought
had a lot of stuff.
I mean, he brought like cases and cases worth of stuff, and then he tried to carry it out in the field with him.
Right.
And he paid for it. He could not go out the second day.
Correct.
The second day of the hunt, he was gone.
He was wiped out.
He was,
and they went a lot deeper than we did the first day.
They did. They were a little bit more ambitious.
He had a lot more gear than I was carrying because I knew we were going to be out and about in not the best of weather. So
Right.
it's like, I'm not going to bring a huge camera out there. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and we really did downsize for that trip. But you look at the shots that you got from it. It's hard to take a bad picture in Alaska.
Oh my God, it was so pretty. I mean, you guys were laughing at me. Back to when you were asking if I was prepared or not, and I was like, "Look, I don't have a sedentary lifestyle. I move around a lot
All the time. And
I move around a lot.
You do.
I'm up and down football fields. I'm up. You know, when whatever I'm doing, I'm always moving.
Yeah.
It's not like I sit and play video games or anything like that all
Right.
day. So I'm like, I do move.
And
so
he's
I'm not
always booked
I
and
am
busy.
by no means fit at all.
But Alaska fit. Oh, well, and I found that out too. I found it out too. And I was like rucking. I was doing the thing. Like I was running. I was doing the whole jiu-jitsu thing, like lifting weights and all this stuff.
I didn't do any of that.
And yeah, you didn't do any of it. I did it, and it was still hard for me. Like, because we had our good buddy Mike Hearn from Free Range American.
Spider Monkey.
Oh my gosh, that dude, he literally can scale mountains, and he is about 5'7".
Yeah, he's not a big dude.
Not a big dude, but he left me in the dust. Like, no problem. No problem.
I mean, he ditched Adam and Mark when he was coming out with his caribou. And
with a 120-pound pack on his back, gone. Like,
he couldn't have done it.
But
I knew that. I knew we were in trouble the first day as soon as we landed. And we were like trying to get out real quick before it got dark. And it was like, look, let's just run up here real quick.
Well,
and he literally ran up the mountain.
Yeah. And it was, and in that day, it was raining hard.
And it was raining, yeah.
It was raining hard. And like the suck bus, and we picked the absolute worst line you could take up a mountain. And I, like every once in a while, like that first day, like I would be feeling the suck. Like I would be like, this is horrible. And then, but I would look back.
I'm
and I'd be like,
rethinking my life choices.
Yeah, he's really thinking his life choices, and I'm just thinking, if it sucks for me, man, it's got to suck for Don. But it did. But I will give you this. Like day one was probably the hardest day, I think. Until day 2. Because day 2 got there, and then it was really time to hunt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, that was when they drop you off, and they say, okay, c'est la vie. Like, go get it done, and we'll be back on the beach at night. I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah.
What was it? So, were you at any point worried about bears?
No. I don't think so. I
mean, going into it. Because that's a big thing. Like Kodiak, everybody starts to worry about bears, and that really, I mean, never entered my mind.
No, I mean, I was amazing to see them.
Yeah. Oh, they're
huge.
Just
on the boat ride out there, we saw the one on the beach.
Mm-hmm. We saw 2 on the beach.
2 on the beach.
Yeah.
And then, when we got out there, you could see them off in the distance with the binos. You could look and see them running across the areas that we had just been in.
Which was reassuring because you got to go back out that way.
But yeah, and then there was the one day you and I were up on the hill by it you and I by ourselves?
Yeah.
No,
it was
Adam was with us. Adam was with us,
and
we saw one bolting across the prairie.
And that was when Mark and
Mike had spooked it out of the hill because we looked over and they were on the next mountain over.
Yeah.
And he was running from them, and I was like, "Jeez, No big deal. They're running away from us. They're not going to come find us. But when you shot that first deer.
Oh my gosh. When I shot, I that's because that's the thing you always heard. And we were shooting suppressed, and so it wasn't a big deal. But like, because suppressed firearms create like non-directional sound. Like, so they can't tell where it came from, really.
Mm-hmm.
I was more worried about scent.
Right.
And scent blowing up, because what I was like, I've got like all of a sudden I've got a built-in lookout.
Because you're not going to see me process a deer. Sorry.
No, that was all me. And I'm happy to do it.
But hunting and, I've been around long enough.
Right.
I'm not a hunter.
Right.
And
shoot guns and you do that.
I've come into shooting guns with you guys. But no, I'm not a hunter. The first time I ever went hunting was when I went to FTW with Ryan and his daughter. And watched her kill a deer and was excited about it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Man, you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking about it. And I've got to get you a bunch of meat and stuff. Like,
I gotta have gotta have my deer sausage.
You had a play in that. I just got it back too. I just got it back,
good.
which is awesome.
A deer sausage.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
all about it. Love it on the grill.
But so okay, bears is a non-issue.
Really, I mean, when you were processing, I was
on
lookout.
Yeah,
I was on lookout because it was just you and I.
Right.
And it was only day 2.
Yeah, only day 2, and we've already got one down. We're thinking and at that point it was like, okay, we've got a lot of content that we've got to produce, and that was like built up. And so on day 3, we kind of said, you know what? It's a good time. We already got one in the bag.
Content day.
Let's just stay at the boat, and just take images and do video and whatever we got to do, to kind of like make our lives a little bit easier for the rest of the trip.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of stuff that we have to cover when we go on these trips like this.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things that's constantly in my mind when we're out. You're looking at hunting and looking at that. I'm thinking in my head the entire time, what do I need? What have I gotten already? And what do I have to make sure I don't miss? And one of the things I can't miss is the kill shot.
The shot. Okay, we're going to jump in real quick from a word from our sponsors. But on the other side of this, I think it's important to look through the camera's eye of what you have to get in order to make shot. And so you're going to detail the stock and the shot right on the other side of this break. All right, we're brought to you by Benelli, and I'm going to tell you this right now. So we're going to give you a Benelli tip of the week. And what I'm going to talk to you about is magnification on your optic. And when you're shooting at longer ranges and I do it too. The tendency is to increase the magnification so you can see the full animal. Or you want to aim it right at a spot. Maybe it's right behind the shoulder. Maybe it's a high shoulder shot. For you boys in the South, maybe it's a neck shot. But I'm telling you, start backing that magnification off a little bit, because what happens is as you're looking through that reticle and you're increasing the magnification, that also increases the amount of movement that you're going to see in that reticle. So try this. Next time you get that buck fever and you start shaking a little bit and that reticle's starting to move a little bit more than you'd want it to, back off that magnification, lower the magnification, and you'll see that almost disappear, where you're going to get acceptable reticle movement. All right, Gun Talk Hunters, we're back with, man, I'm going to say it, man, he is my favorite cameraman. He is a great friend, Don Lagarde, and he was on the Alaska adventure with us. And essentially, I would say, when you're running a camera and you're on the hunt, you have to be just as in tune as I do behind the gun, if not more.
Well, sure. I mean, I have to make sure that, one, I'm not making, because usually I'm wearing earbuds.
Right.
Or I'm wearing.
To catch audio.
So I'm hearing audio. And mine are noise isolating, so I can't hear anything when I have them in. So I have to make sure that I'm not. And when everyone in the hunting group turns around and looks at me and goes, "Why are you so loud?" It's like
I don't know.
I don't know. So I have to make sure, one, that I'm being as stealthy as possible because I stick out like a sore thumb. You know, I'm not in camo.
Right. And that was another thing on the gear that I was like, hey, you good with gear, you're like rain gear, you're going to have solid rain gear. You go, I got it. Solid black.
Yeah, I have really nice rain gear.
It was really nice, and it stood solid black.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I stood out.
Yeah.
And my backpack was blue.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't necessarily worried about the backpack. It was the rain gear. But the other cameraman had a giant black poncho.
Yeah,
and
he
you
was
talking
wearing a
about
poncho.
you stuck out. That was even
I could
worse.
see him 2 mountains over
with your naked eye.
with my naked eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that was tough. But anyway, all
next
right.
time I know.
Let's walk into the shot. So that we're kind of backtracking a little bit on day 2, and jumping into what transpired. Let's just talk about the walk up the mountain, our lunch break, and then through the shot. I'm going to let you take this.
It was not fun. I could tell you that right now. And you enjoyed it. I know, because you would get so far ahead of me, and those damn alder bushes would just eat my lunch. Either the small ones, the big ones, the mediums. It didn't matter. There was always a route through the alder bushes that
sucked.
And
but I would be up a little ways ahead, forging ahead.
I was taking in the sights.
Oh, he was taking in the sights. Every once in a while, I'd sit there and I'd be like a quarter way up the mountain. I'd look back, and Don's just sitting back. He's just sitting, looking out over the Alaskan expanse. And but I guarantee you took in better views than I did that whole trip.
Well, yeah, because I would stop for a breather.
Yeah. We wouldn't stop for a breather, man.
I would stop for a breather because
I'm tired.
And my legs were killing me. And so, yeah, I would stop along the way and just take it in, because, you guys are further up ahead of me. So I'm not hearing you that much anymore. And there's nothing around. You don't hear anything.
Yeah.
So you're just looking and you're taking it all in. And I don't care how many pictures I took. I don't care how much video I shot. Nothing does it justice than standing on the side of that mountain and looking at it.
No, absolutely not.
There's no way.
And I try to tell people that because if you haven't done a hunt in Alaska, it's hard to put into a sense once you're actually there and you're doing the hunt, because Alaska is a postcard in every direction.
Oh, unbelievable. Right? Unbelievable.
And
that was one of the things when you asked me if I could go, or if I was willing to go, it's something you can't pass up.
Right.
Yes, I regretted every minute when I was on the mountain.
Why'd I say yes to this? Why'd I say yes to this?
But never did I not enjoy myself. You guys asked me when we were done, would you go back? Absolutely. Yes, it was the hardest thing I've ever done physically in my life.
Yeah.
I'd go back in a heartbeat.
See?
I'd go back in a heartbeat.
All right,
and I came down every day smiling.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. He just sitting on the beach.
Because I wasn't carrying 120-pound packs like you guys were.
That's fair. So So we got into some rocks, and it was starting to rain a little bit, and we kind of braked for lunch, gave our legs a rest. It was all the way on top of the mountain, and I was up and down because I get antsy. I feel like there's something to do. There's something to go do. There's something. What's over the next ridge? Because both of us are adventurers at heart, and it's almost like you just want to go see what's next. What's over that hill? Is there something over that hill? Well, I got over the hill, and I realized, holy crap, there's a lot of caribou over there. And I'm like, so I come back. I was skipping down the mountain now. And I'm like, Don, there's some caribou right over here. He goes, what is that? What is right over here mean? and I told him no, they're probably maybe a mile away, maybe a mile and a half. He goes, that's far.
Isn't there anything closer?
Yeah, is there anything closer?
Is there anything closer?
Well, what we didn't realize at the time, and I had to call to verify, so we had another group out with us, Mike Hearn and Adam Heggenstaller with Game and Fish. And so I had to verify with them because they were on caribou too. And I was like, well, if that might be the caribou that they're looking at. And so I called down and I was like, hey, you know, we're seeing a bunch of caribou. Don and I are thinking about going to get them. And I could I swear I heard under your breath, the hell we are. But no.
Where I saw them was not anywhere close.
Oh, it was like maybe a mile and a half, maybe
after we'd already hiked in.
We were almost 2 miles in, yeah. Like maybe about that. But so we devised a plan that, you know what, I wasn't feeling good about the spot.
Right.
So let's just move. So we go up, and then we're starting to come down the mountain. I'm going to let you take it from there.
We come around the corner. Well, you got in front of me. Of course, you were in front of me because I'm always behind you.
Always
filming.
I'm
always behind you.
You had
filming,
to get that shot.
Shots
Yeah.
of you. And you came around the corner, and you turned around and you looked at me and went.
I was yelling,
get down. And you went to go pull out the bipod.
Yep.
And you were setting up on the bipod, and I mean. I'm like, where is it? And you turn her and you point and you look and you go, it's right there. And I mean, this deer was presenting. I was like, I stood there for a minute and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It looked like something you would see like at a hunting store.
Yeah.
Because it was just standing there presenting itself perfectly, not moving, just looking at us. And I'm like,
just looking
this
at
thing
us.
is not real. It's not. There's no way it was real.
Like I found the only decoy out there.
Exactly. And so you
get down.
So I bellied down.
Belly down, man.
And then
immediately.
you go, I'm gonna go. I got a better shot over here. So you started working down, and they have those undulating hills.
Yes, there were like little crevices. Is kind of how I would like little like mini saddles. Like
yes, yeah,
right. That's kind of how they were. They weren't fun. But they allowed us, like, we'd see them for a little bit, and then we could get down into it and come up the other side and go, oh, there's another one. I can get closer. Because I want to get closer. I want to make the shot good. And we don't have cameras that have, like,
I don't have a
600.
Super, I don't have a super telephoto lens.
Right.
No.
So we need to get closer to, like, capture the shot.
Correct.
So you go, man, because it's too good.
You took his backpack off, and you run down the hill. And you get into one of the things, and you turn around and you watch me.
Oh,
and
my
take
gosh.
my backpack. Then I don't remember if I took my backpack off.
You did.
I had it
you
off.
did.
And I started doing these combat rolls.
Oh, yeah. He was tactical rolling
down the hill with a camera in my hand.
And not losing the shot. Like, it was amazing.
And then when you set up on it, and then I have to wait, you know, and that's the thing with shooting while hunting. While I'm shooting video while you're hunting is I can't let you take the shot until I have the shot.
Right.
So, and it's not always easy for me to get the shot.
Right.
Because of positioning and...
Because my point of view is not necessarily what your point of view is.
Correct. So then it's like, then I have to belly down and I have to get some support because I'm shooting very long lens.
Yep.
On a pretty small camera.
Oh, yeah. It was
which
small.
worked out perfectly, but I mean, it was just a
crazy.
small camera, so not easy to hold still.
Right.
So I have to get into a position where I'm basically like you in a prone position,
yeah.
But I have to find the deer
with
the camera.
And I don't, that section right there from the moment I started setting up, because honestly, like what happens to me when I go into like that predator mode, what comes across to me, I don't know what I'm relaying to you. Like I could have been cussing you out like, hey, get the heck down and get on that dang thing and all that. I don't know because I black out and I focus
tunnel
in.
vision.
I get tunnel vision really bad.
Which is the same thing that happens with me.
Except yours is a whole different point of view.
Exactly. And I'm not focused on what you're doing. I'm now focused on getting the shot, getting the right framing of that deer, making sure that I'm close enough to it, but far enough away, but I can get the kill shot.
Yeah.
And
which is very impressive because this is the second time you've done something like this, and the first time you've ever done it like with a psycho like me.
Right. I mean, the first time I was shooting with a 12-year-old.
Right.
And
same.
But And I was lucky enough to get, she had to pay. Actually, I think I just got lucky on the one at FTW that Parker shot.
It was perfect.
But so I get into the same tunnel vision, except for I'm not worried about you now. I'm worried about making sure that I'm not affecting you,
right?
And I'm not gonna spook the deer. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna. But I need to get that shot, and I know your heart's pumping because you're about to take the shot.
Oh yeah.
I'm just chill, and I'm like, my heart's not, because you asked me that. Do you get your heart pumping? I'm like, no, because I'm focused on getting the shot.
That's but see, I wish I could turn but I guess that's why I do it, is because man, it just gets my adrenaline going. It gets my blood pumping, and I'm just so focused in on it. And I asked you, I was like, man, was that exciting? Did your adrenaline get going?
No, I got the shot.
But I got the shot.
I'm more excited about getting the shot.
You got the shot, and the shot was great because he buckled right there.
And then the other two took off.
Yeah, there was two more right there.
In that same little patch
Same right there.
We didn't even see.
Well, and the doe kind of just got up, and she kind of just milled around. She sat there for a little bit. She sat
and watched us.
Yeah, you got some video of her too.
You were processing, but she was still standing there.
Yeah. It was absolutely an unbelievable deal. But I tell you, the vision I get out of this hunt, it's not about I got my first blacktail or anything like that. I will always remember Don tactical rolling down those little crevices and down those little hillsides. I mean, that was so cool to see you just doing the hunt with me. I would take you back in a million years, every single time, because that takes a lot of cojones to go sure, I'll go, let's go do something, and you've never done it before,
right? But I mean, that's just that's adventure, and that's something fun, and it would be different if it was different people,
right?
I mean, as long as I've been working with you guys, I've always enjoyed, and people always ask me, I do a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
And I go a lot of different places, and I work with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
I mean, A-star athletes,
Yeah.
top Hollywood people. I've worked with them on movies and stuff. But this is the stuff I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
the other stuff I do it and it's okay.
I bet you weren't saying that when we're
no, I did leave I left my last will and testament on the GoPro that was strapped to my chest all day.
Yeah, so we had a GoPro strapped to his chest, and we're trying to get onto another animal later on in the week, and we're going and I mean this was a mountain and it was steep, and we're like, let's just go across these little rock slides right here, and he records his last will and testament on a GoPro
when they find me at the bottom of the mountain, because it was not easy.
let him know.
And then we went down the hill.
Oh, that was later. Even.
Yeah, that was towards the end of the week.
That was my favorite joke to play until we had to actually do it. Was, hey Don, we need to go back up the hill after going down
the hill.
And you looked at me and you go, are you serious? you can't be serious.
I seriously was mapping out. I knew where the boat was. I knew the way we came in, and I was like, they're going up, you and Mike.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. And I'm standing down at the bottom or halfway up still. And I was looking, I'm like, if I just went around this ledge right here, I could work my way down to the prairie, and I could be on the boat in an hour. And I stood there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked up and I looked around. And I looked up and I looked around. And I was like, I may start walking my ass back to the boat and let you boys have your fun.
Yeah.
Because we didn't the rest of the day.
No, we didn't.
That was the only clear day we had, though.
That was
and they said it was not a good day to hunt because it's clear.
But you know what?
We saw a lot of deer.
But you know what was funny?
There was one you could have got.
Easy shot. And I ate 2 tags. I ate 2 tags, and I regret not shooting that deer. But it was,
the one we literally walked up on.
We literally walked up and we were bedded for. I mean, we were there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that
never moved. And he knew we were there.
Oh yeah. But didn't care. He knew we had already made the decision not to shoot. Well, he just wasn't he was very similar to the one I shot, which was a fine representation of what we had taken. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go, and that's the big mistake is that you go, wow, I'll see something bigger. In the end, yes, I saw something bigger. I blew my shot, and that's on me.
And I didn't go that day.
And you didn't go that. See, you were my lucky charm. You should have been there. But
that was the day that I stayed back just because we still had a lot of content to cover.
Yeah, we had a lot of content to cover and a lot of stuff that we needed to get picked up that I didn't need to be there for. So I was like, okay, Don, like, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to ask you to stay back on the last day of hunting. And I think it was, oh, thank goodness.
It absolutely was.
It's like
I just don't know if I could do another day.
So
it was hard.
So what was boat life like? Did you like that?
I didn't mind it at all. It's not the boat life I was used to.
Right. Cramped conditions. There was like 4 guys on each boat.
Right. And I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was good company.
Right.
I mean, the guys that we were with, Greg and Gabe, the 2 captains, phenomenal. Great guys to talk to, hang out with. Adam, Mike, you, Mark, the other camera guy. I mean, he and I talk shop a little bit, which is what camera guys do.
Oh,
we talk gear. We talk styles. We talk about, but good company. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better group. I think if there was a stick in the mud, it would not have been as fun.
No.
I mean, when I say fun, I mean, we got back to the boat, we'd eat dinner, we'd hang out for a little while, and then
we were tired.
We're done, 9:00.
Yeah, we were exhausted. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing is we rested really well on that trip. I thought when we got back to the boat,
but we slept well.
Yeah, we were out but so when the tide would come in, the boat, it would float the boats just a little. You didn't feel it.
Phase me at all.
You didn't feel it.
As soon as my head hit the pillow, I was out.
Yeah. And then we slept with the window open too, so that was nice. Because it was
nice.
cool Alaskan air.
And the generator was running on the boat all the time, so it was a nice
little hum.
Yeah, just a little white noise.
Yeah.
But we were so tired.
Oh my gosh. I'm still tired from that trip. I don't think I recovered.
I ate things that like
that you didn't think you would eat?
Well, we had the barbecue chicken.
Yeah, the barbecue chicken.
See, I'm a white meat chicken breast guy.
Yeah.
I sucked the meat off of those chicken legs. And I'm not a chicken leg fan. I sucked the meat off. I told my wife that. I'm like, I ate like 6 of them and she goes, and I was like, I was starving.
What did you think about the halibut?
I thought the halibut was phenomenal.
We caught fresh halibut
on the way out.
On the way out there, and like it literally fed us for the better part of 4 days.
We ate it
quite a few meals
4 times because we had it for breakfast one morning. We had beer battered, and then we had it grilled, and then we had it beer battered again at the end. I had a special request with the French fries, and phenomenal. It was good. Oh my! Because I said, well, if we wouldn't have caught that halibut, what else would we have eaten? And he said, oh, I had a whole menu of stuff, but because we had this huge ass halibut, which I was fine with because I'm a picky eater, and that was I'm a picky eater.
I never noticed that. Like, I mean,
I'm a picky eater.
Well, you weren't on that trip because you ate everything.
I was just hungry.
Yeah, but we had to come back a day and a half early, almost 2 days early because of weather.
Right, because of weather. Which wasn't as bad as I thought. It was not. I mean, 12-foot seas were not great.
I was not looking forward to that. I would have rather. So as we were going out, I thought the seas were rougher going out than they were coming in. I thought.
Well, it was when we were coming back in, they were rollers.
Yeah.
When we were going out, they were choppers.
Oh,
so
God,
they were
just awful.
we were literally just popping across the top of these and through these waves. At least when we were coming in, we were just rolling
through them. Yeah.
And they were wide enough. So
yeah, it wasn't awful.
I was just hoping that it wasn't going to be like that the whole time.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I would have hated it. But
it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, a great group of guys.
You got to definitely.
Everybody was very encouraging.
Oh yeah.
I mean, between
you have to have
and Mike and Adam, knowing that I was struggling, and I would get up, and you guys didn't bitch and complain because
No.
I was holding you up, because that was my biggest thing, was not
You
to hold
were
you up.
really worried about that. I noticed that.
I
And you had
was
mentioned it, and you're like, I
absolutely
just
did
don't
not
want
want to make you guys suffer for my
No.
um,
Lack of
lack
preparation.
of preparation. Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
Uh,
No, I thought you did a great job. Like, I mean, for someone who isn't, I mean, what one would call a hunter, or like
a hiker, an
or a
outdoorsman,
hiker,
or anything.
like, I thought you handled it really well.
I tried.
I will say the last day, the last day's hike, it was gnarly. Like, it was not fun.
And that was just you and Adam.
That was just Adam and I, and so where we had shot Adam's buck, we went 2 mountains over,
Right.
past that.
Right.
So we were way back in there, and I was debating. I was like, man, if there's one back here, I don't know if we can shoot him and get out by dark. Like, there's no way. And that was,
And I told you that early on. I am
You
not
did.
coming back in the dark.
I'm not coming back.
I
in the
can
dark.
barely walk in the light. I am not walking in the dark.
So what was it like? And I mean, we're fixing to wrap up here. But what was it like walking on the tussocks and the grounds on Kodiak? What was it like?
Well, you never know from step to step what you're going to get. I mean, there were these deep holes that you didn't see that were full of water, of course.
Yes.
But it was almost like tundra. I mean, it was at some point where every step we took, you could feel the
nice
ground was
and
just
cushy.
floating.
It felt good. Like, I
But then
love
you're
that.
tripping on things.
And then all of a sudden, like, something would grab your ankle.
Right.
Like, what's that about?
And it was hard. I good boots.
Oh,
Good boots.
tell them the story about your boots, because that's crazy. I would not have risked my hunt and my feet to what you experienced, but it came out wonderful.
Oh, the Nike boots?
Yes.
Who knew Nike made hiking boots?
I knew they made like kind of a hunting boot, but I didn't know how good they were.
I thought it was just like for show.
Right. Like they do.
Yeah, I was out looking for boots. I'm like, I knew the hiking boots I had were not waterproof enough, and they weren't going to do, because I mean, we stink out on the range here all the time, and they're always wet. So I bought 2 new pairs of boots, and I got a nice pair of Columbias. I thought they were going to be great.
Oh yeah, those
because
were
they're
going to be
Columbia. They're outdoor boots. As soon as I stepped off the boat, the water went in the tongue. It was over. They were wet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I had bought these really nice high top Nike hiking boots, and I bought them at an outlet store, and they were like $250 boots.
For how much?
Like $38. They were on sale, and then sale again.
$38.
And how much were your boots?
Lots more than that.
And those Nike boots were probably the best pair of hiking boots I've ever owned.
And that's crazy. Like, I would have never thought that. Like, I was looking at them going, wait, they marked these down to $39
from $250
from $250. And I will say this, my boots didn't cost much more than $250. Like, they weren't that much, but I paid that much. My boots were very dry, but man, once that leather gets wet, just dry them out at night if you can.
On a blower.
Yeah, on a blower, something like that.
But those Nike boots were great. I mean, they were high.
Yeah.
So even when you're stepping through all the foolishness, stepping in the creek,
I will say one time when we were walking on that beach, remember when Alaska tried to eat me?
Yes, you got stuck in the quicksand.
Oh my gosh. I've never been swallowed up like that.
That
and
was
I was
almost to your knee.
It was to my knee.
Yeah.
Like, I stepped off like on the beach. Like, I was walking a little bit shallower than everybody else.
You were closer to the water line.
Yeah.
Mike and I were up top.
Yeah. Like smart people.
You go where it's dry.
Yeah. Well, I was just doing my way through life, and
not taking in the sights like I am. See, I'm walking behind you guys always.
I was looking down, man. I was like, okay, this looks all right. And there was little gravel and stuff like that, and all of a sudden I step off into it, and I'm like, guys, something got me. like, please help.
Get him a stick. Throw him a stick.
Yes, that's what it was almost like.
Throw him a
but
stick.
it legit almost, Alaska tried to swallow me. It spit me out pretty quick, but it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't like the taste.
No, it didn't.
It's that Louisiana meat.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I know we ran a little bit long on this one, but it's not often that I get Don to agree to come on.
Probably won't happen again.
It will happen again. I'll get him on because I know you guys are going to enjoy listening to this. And if you do enjoy listening to this, feel free to give us a like, a comment, a share, whatever you got to do. Just, ring those bells. All the things that people say to do, whatever platform you're on. Go do it, man. It helps us out. It helps us bring more content to you.
Keeps me working.
It keeps Don working. It keeps him around. And we like Don. But man, thank you for joining us.
No, I know it's very hard to get me to do this. And
I
know how much you wanted me to do it. And I was like, you know what? Let's
Why
do it.
not?
And we had a good stories.
Oh, yeah. It's always good. It's good to tell stories. We like to tell stories on ourselves because that preserves it for, it preserves us for the future generations to come down the line.
It will be that will be a trip that I will remember for the rest of my life.
100%.
And the people that we were with.
Exactly.
Friends for life with those guys.
They are. But yeah, as always, Gun Talk hunters, keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.